Look at almost any metric of modern society, and you will see an obsession with acceleration. GDP, bandwidth, productivity. Our systems are designed to scale infinitely, demanding constant forward momentum. When these systems hit friction, the default reflex is to push harder. We try to solve inefficiency by piling on new software, optimizing schedules, and forcing more actions into the workflow to maintain the pace. This chart maps out what happens next. When a biological or mechanical network attempts aggressive growth without a built-in period of reset, it hits a mathematical ceiling. The structure simply breaks. That widespread exhaustion you see across modern industries is the result of ignoring physical limits. It is a predictable failure of system design, not a lack of individual endurance. By attempting to outrun the natural constraints of our environment, we are engineering our own systemic collapse. Over 2 millennia ago, an ancient philosophical text mapped out the exact architecture of this failure. These characters spell out a precise diagnostic warning. Not knowing the eternal constant leads to reckless actions and disaster. That modern reflex we have, the urge to react immediately, optimize, and frantically problem solve, fits the text's definition of reckless action perfectly. Curious, analytical tone. To prevent our systems from shattering, we have to identify the eternal constant that modern society is blind to. The text offers a counterintuitive solution to all that chaotic acceleration. Attain ultimate emptiness and hold steadfast to stillness. Emptying the mind and staying still sounds like passive withdrawal. It sounds like quitting, but it operates as a high-level tactical advantage. Stillness forces you to step entirely outside the momentum of a frantic system so you can accurately observe the cycles happening within it. You gain control over a hyper-complex environment by pulling back to read the board, instead of blindly reacting to every move. When you step back, you notice what the text calls the myriad things flourishing. You see the explosive expansion phase inherent to markets, ecological habitats, and human ambition. Here, we see the inescapable next phase of that cycle, the return to the root. No matter how aggressively a network scales outward, it must eventually contract back to its origin. Reaching this baseline is stillness. It is a system fulfilling its natural destiny. This rule of growth and decay is the constant. It governs everything. Recognizing this cycle is what the text calls clarity. Once you possess clarity, you stop panicking during a downturn. You understand that the system isn't collapsing, it is functioning exactly as designed. The text concludes with a logical proof, mapping out a specific behavioral chain reaction triggered by that clarity. First, understanding the constant generates profound tolerance. That tolerance strips away bias, leaving you completely impartial to external shocks. This absolute impartiality grants you kingly sovereignty, complete, untethered control over your own internal reactions. This brings us to the final step. Internal sovereignty aligns your timing perfectly with the Tao, the fundamental natural order of the universe. You don't build psychological endurance by layering thick external armor to fight off the world. You achieve it by making your internal mechanics match the mechanics of the universe. Our economies and technologies will continue to scale. The daily environment will remain complex, loud, and demanding, but the ancient text delivers a very specific promise. If you master this stillness, to the end of life there is no peril. Enduring success comes when you stop frantically fighting the tide of chaos and simply learn to trust the inevitable return to the root.